All right, everyone, it's our favorite part. We're adding the blue. This is the part where the model ends up looking really good, right? I'm wondering if I should not use this brush for this, because this is the foot is like a little smaller. Right, so like I want to be a little more precise around the edges. Maybe I don't use this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change, because like, again, I don't want to rush this part. This is not a part I want to rush, so let's use a smaller one. Dip him into the blue. That sounds like a threat. I'll use a bigger one, I think, but not. I'll just use the base brush. I think this is probably the best happy medium we could get. Yeah, this one's not bad. Now, the one thing I do worry about is on a bigger model like this, I'm worried that the contrast will be a little not like... The other model we do is like they're smaller, right? So when the contrast pulls around certain areas, it's like okay, because it's so small. But I'm hoping that like with a model this big, it's a decent result. But I think it will. I think I just got to be a little more on it, I guess, with the way that we color in the lines. How far are we away from super soldiers? Do we need super soldiers though? Just think about it. What would a super soldier like accomplish that like a regular soldier like can't? In a realistic sense, like besides fighting the Covenant and all that, you know? Like, it's like if you have a lot of money putting into a super soldier program and a bunch of like money to make him like cracked and give him the best equipment possible. What is the difference between just giving like 300 guys cheaper equipment and sending them out? Morale thing. Yeah, exactly. That would be what they're for. Like, even like, I feel like they did that even in Captain America, you know? Like, mostly for morale. He was there to sell war bonds rather than like be a frontline combatant. Like, he was an investment. I think that would make the most sense. You have a nice fall on the trip. Did I fall on trip? I did not fall on trip, but I did witness a person fall from the stairs the first night that we were there. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Japan, but like in Japan, like the buildings are very like kind of like high, right? Like the stairs are very steep. And the reason for that is because like, you know, the buildings are smaller, so they're making more use of like the vertical space. I remember our first night there, this woman fell from what, like a really like vertical staircase. And she hit the ground hard, and she hit it so hard to the point where I thought she wasn't real. I thought she was a mannequin that like, or a prop that fell. Like a very realistic mannequin that fell, because she was completely like not moving. And then like eventually people went to like help her, and she was moving and got up, and I was like, oh my fucking god, that was a real person. Because she hit the ground so hard, I thought somebody dropped a mannequin or something. And then I found out that she was real, and I was like, oh, Jesus. Did she knock out? She probably was under the influence of something, because she was like, not really responsive. She got up and was fine, right? She got up and was okay. But, yeah, that was crazy. I had it the other way around. I thought someone was laying dead in the ground in a parking place, and it was a mannequin. That's actually so... I think that's worse. I think that's scarier. I think that's actually scarier than what I went through. Because, like, I would just start panicking. I would actually have just started panicking, if, like, thinking what to do, like, what do I, like, you know, how am I supposed to go about finding a dead body? And then the relief washing over that it's real. It was you're right, it's the opposite, because, like, it was, like, I was like, oh, that's weird, like, some mannequin just fell from a building. But then, like, slowly I was like, oh, fuck, that's a real person. do know a lot of people are complaining about the 5000 series, which I might have a hot take on the 5000 or on the 50 series GPUs with NVIDIA. Basically, the controversy revolves around the fact that they're saying that the 5070 has 4090 performance and is like $500 or something like that, right? But that relies mostly on the AI generation, the AI frame generation, and people are saying that that's not like that doesn't count. Like the you know, like those aren't your like they're imaginary frames or whatever. The thing is, like, do you really care if the frames are AI generated? Because like obviously, you know, we don't like AI generation with you know, art and stuff. That's bad. But like, what is the problem with AI generated frames? Because if it makes your experience twice as, if you make it twice as like, if you get twice as many frames, it's still an overall smoother experience. They do matter for accuracy, but here's the thing though. If you're talking about accuracy in terms of like responsiveness and high latency, or like low latency, I mean, like it doesn't really matter unless you're playing a game like Valorant. And if that's the case, those games are so well optimized anyways and are mostly CPU driven that like you're just not gonna use AI frame generation in a game like Valorant because you're gonna get 300 frames anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I think that like with the 50 series, it's like I don't think the 50 series is that bad of a thing, because it's like, even if like you don't like the frame generation stuff, the 40 series is just gonna get cheaper when it comes out, so it's still overall a win. Because like if you need to upgrade, you can just buy a 40 series. If the AI thing matters, then you can just buy a 40 series and it's gonna be cheaper now. I will say that the big negative takeaway that I would have from this is somebody said that companies are not going to they're not going to optimize their games anymore because they can rely on the GPUs getting better. But I don't know. I think that's also kind of a stupid like argument to not like it, because I still think that good companies do optimize their games. I think we all just have to let go of the old, like the franchises that like meant a lot to us when we were kids, like Call of Duty, you know, like just I think we just let go of them and we find better games, because like there are games that come out that are optimized. Space Marine 2 was optimized really well. Like I think we just don't support the companies that aren't optimizing well, you know, like, but there's companies out there that do. Like for one, and I hate to say it, but like Riot Games like understands that like optimization is important. So like their games will be able to be run on like toasters, and I'm sure that there's like a lot of games out there that like can do the same thing. I mean, the thing is like it's like, yeah, COD's 300 gigabytes and they're optimizing for a new graphics card. What if we just didn't play COD? What if we just played a different game? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe maybe I am kind of at a point where like I'm just like done playing games with companies where like that just are not trying very hard, or companies that suck, or they're not optimizing, or they're not giving good content, you know, like I don't know, I feel like my life's like a lot better for it. Paint scheme inspired by toxic rainforest frogs. Actually, it's inspired by Godzilla. Originally it was a xenomorph, right? That's where the gray skin came from. My old color scheme had I'm back. What do you mean? I'm right here. But my old color scheme had a much darker blue. It was pretty much black with like a slight blue highlight to it, because it was supposed to be like xenomorph-like. But then someone said it looked like Godzilla, because like the gray and the blue, like the blue fins when he like glows. So I was like, wait, that's so good. I love Godzilla. So eventually, with this second iteration of models, because I'm kind of redoing the whole thing. Not redoing like the whole color scheme, but like I'm doing a different with what's the term? A different like way of doing it. I decided that I'm gonna go all in on the Godzilla, and the blue's gonna be at like a lighter blue. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. This is lovely. All the crevices and orifices look fantastic. It really does. Like, and that's another thing is like, I just feel like this is just a model that like the new Tyranid line has so much detail that like, I feel like you just don't really need to be too concerned with it, you know? Now let's bring this guy up even more. We'll just start from up here, I guess. This dry brush is gonna go like pretty much around the entire model. Kind of a unifying color, where like the skin and the what's it called will be more. It should feel more conjoined because like this color is present on both the skin and the carapace in a way. So. Not trying to get too heavy with it though, because it is very like light, so I'm just kind of keeping it towards the hard edges. Let's do some of the skin as well, because like this is supposed to be something that goes everywhere. Okay. I think that we have done it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that we've done mostly what we set out to do, which was the carapace and more. We even painted some of the claws. This one's actually not done yet. Hang on. It's looking good. We got the two biggest parts done. Next week's probably just going to be all the intricate details, and then maybe we can move on to the base as well. But yeah, you guys can see that this looks so good. The dry brush and like everything, like he's got so much definition behind him. He's just popping.